Anthony, good to see you, mate. Not the result Newcastle United wanted at the weekend, but on a personal level, how good was it to make your first start for the club?
Yeah, I felt really good. I felt really good in the game. I felt really fit and strong, which, I'd been training a week or two prior really hard and training with the fitness team and the manager to hopefully make me start sooner rather than later. And yeah, I felt really good. It was good that the manager trusted me so soon.
How much did the City game sum up where Newcastle United are currently? I think the gaffer said it, great in between the boxes, just not clinical enough.
Yeah, I feel like that's where we're at the minute, in terms of we're still performing at a really high level as in an all-round game, but the little end bit's probably not there. But we've been so hot and good in front of goal all year that this is bound to happen at some point. Now it's up to us to take it back up a notch.
I guess it's the £1 million question then. What do Newcastle need to do to be that little bit more clinical? I saw some statistic that it was like 3 goals from the last 102 shots. So what needs to change?
I think we just need to keep doing what we're doing. I think in football it can happen like this, where you're so good and then it's not quite happening. So I think if we just trust in what the manager's saying, trust in our own ability, the goals will come.
Obviously there's been plenty of games where you could make a difference. One of those games that you couldn't make a difference was the League Cup final, naturally, because you were cup tied. But just what was that experience like for you, kind of seeing the city, the supporters, everyone around the club so buzzed for such a big game?
Yeah, to see how people were reacting was really really impressive. It just showed how big and passionate the fan base was. But actually getting to the game, I've never wanted to win a trophy so much or play a game. Yeah. Watching it from where I was sat, I was just desperate to get on the pitch and play. So it was really difficult to watch, I'll be honest.
I remember speaking to you after the West Ham game, where it was like your first week at Newcastle United, and you described it as a dream. What's the first month been like that?
Yeah, it's been really good. The longer I've been here, the better it's getting, because obviously I'm feeling more settled. It's become more of my home. And to be honest, I thought it'd take me longer to feel the way I do now. But, the fact that it's took such a short amount of time proves it's such a good place to be at.
How much does Newcastle compare as a player now for Newcastle compared to being an opposition player? Not just as a club, but as a city and as an environment as well.
I suppose from the outside, I never realised how good the city was and the club in general, as in the stature of it and how much people love Newcastle. In Newcastle, it's a one city team, so I probably didn't realise the love people had for the team. But like I said, playing here on match day, I probably realised that then, because it's a really intimidating place to play. But now having them behind me, I couldn't think of any fan base better to have behind me.
You got off to a pretty good start within 24 hours of being in the city with a little trip to the Metro Centre. Talk us through what happened there, because I'll be honest, Anthony, I heard all sorts of things, like fans giving you lifts back to the city, all sorts. What the heck happened? Yeah,
it was my first night, and obviously I didn't have many things with me in terms of clothing and just little bits. So we went into the Metro Centre, obviously got stopped for a lot of photographs. But then at the end of it, I was stood outside waiting for a taxi, couldn't get a taxi. And this woman come up to me and was like, "Welcome to Newcastle, how are you finding it?" And we were like, "Good, I can't really get home." So she was like, "Jump in the car." So I was like, all right. Got in the car, and then a son come home from work, got in the car, he sat in the front seat, turned around and I was there. The show was like...
I mean, welcome to Newcastle, I suppose is the best way to put that one. Apart from that, we've seen the likes of Joe Linton, Bruno, etc., doing so much with the fans. Yeah. What have your experiences been like with the fans, apart from impromptu taxi journeys?
Yeah, I've had really good experiences so far, as in seeing them around the city and how encouraging they've been and welcoming they've made me and my family and stuff feel. So I can't say enough good things about them. I probably didn't expect them to be so generous, to be honest with you, and the experiences I've had with them.
Any apart from the Metro Centre trip that stick out in the mind or not?
No, I'm just talking about day to day, like if I'm in and around the city, just people coming up to me and wishing me luck and saying really nice words.
Speaking of the fans, kind of when you joined, a lot was saying, he's the type of player who, fans can really get behind. He ruffles feathers. I can't say exactly what the word is on camera for definite, but what's the real Anthony Gordon like? How do you compare off the pitch to on it and that ruffling feathers reputation? Yeah,
I think when I come here, a lot of people were surprised around the place, because my personality off the pitch and on the pitch couldn't be any different. Yeah. Off the pitch, I'm really just upbeat and sort of socialise with anyone and really upbeat all the time. On the pitch, I'm probably a bit more aggressive. I'll do anything to win in short term. So, you know, whether that be ruffling someone's feathers or anything really, anything in the game that requires me to do, I'll do it if it helps my team win. So my personality on and off the pitch is very different.
I suppose that mirrors the gaffer as well, in terms of, you know, it comes across as so calm, so humble, but there's a real fiery desire to win underneath that experience. What was it like for you though to be kind of chased by Eddie, chased by the club for so long before you eventually joined?
Yeah, it means a lot to a player, you know, who's going to move club, because sometimes, you know, clubs can be in a bit of disarray where an owner might want you, a manager might not. The fact that everyone was on the same page and made me feel like I was really wanted here and stuff, and they were chasing me for a while, it made me decision pretty easy really.
How has he been with you so far? What have you two kind of spoken about in the month that you've been here?
Just where I can improve. He's so intense and he's so he lives and breathes football, so that's very similar to my personality. So we've been, you know, practicing really hard on the little details where me and him think I can push on and improve.
And now part of this squad chasing the Champions League ultimately. Put simply, can Newcastle make top 4 this season? What will it take to achieve that, do you think?
Yes, we definitely can. If we continue to perform the way we are and obviously start scoring more goals, we definitely can. To get there, I think we just need to keep doing what we're doing, because like I said, we're performing at a very high level. We've only been beat by Liverpool and Man City, so that's some going. We just need to keep performing and taking it game by game.
When one of the Champions League rivals is Liverpool, for an ex-Blue, does that add extra impetus to it as well?
I don't think I need any more motivation to make Champions League, because it's something I've dreamt of since I was, you know, I can remember. So yeah. I don't need any extra motivation. Obviously, if that happens and we beat them too, then it makes it a little bit better. But no, I don't need any more motivation. And
I suppose if it was to happen, that top 4 finish was achieved, it'd look pretty decent on the cameras that are currently following players around, the gap around. What's that been like for you? Because I imagine that's your kind of first real experience of having the behind-the-scenes cameras. Is it a bit surreal or not?
No, to be fair, they're pretty relaxed. They're not, you know, in the face with the cameras. They're really relaxed, really polite people. So it's been fine. You know, they're not bothering anyone. They're just making a good documentary, so yeah, it's been really good.
Have they caught any players doing anything?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. You have to ask them now.
Not you, definitely.
Not me.
Listen, that's kind of this season. Your contract here is a longer-term one, shall we say. Where would you want Newcastle United to be by the time that first contract ideally runs out, and by the time that you kind of are really with this club?
By the time it will have run out, I want to have won a few trophies. Like I said, being at the final made me really want to win a trophy, so hopefully we would have won a few by then. And just being a regular, you know, European team, always pushing and always trying to get better and push for them top spots, because, you know, imagine the fan base if we got to them levels, so the club would grow so much.
And just finally, the next step to achieving that, I suppose, is Wolves this weekend. A difficult game at St James's Park, but beat them hypothetically right back in the Champions League chase, would you say?
Yeah, I suppose so. 3 points goes a long way in the Premier League, but it's not going to be easy. They're a team playing really well. They've obviously got a new manager and stuff, so they look revitalised, and it's definitely someone we can't take, you know, easy or anything like that. We've got to be really on our game to beat them.